And hello, shalom, shalom. No. That's the bot. Hello. Make sure you can hear me okay. Hello, shalom, Shabbat shalom. I am EP Samuel, and I am here. I am back. He's back. Hello. How's the volume? Make sure you can hear me okay. How we doing? Good. So good to see you here today. Thank for all those who have been praying for me uh, for the time that I have been away from the camera. We've been preparing and doing some great things, some good things, some awesome things. But I won't spend any time beyond that dealing with the time off. I thank you for your prayers. I'm back, feeling well. All of the above. We're going to move forward. This will not be a long exchange today, as I will be um, just kind of inaugurating some things that are happening, some things that we have moved forward from and moving toward. Uh, Again, I thank everybody for their prayers, but one thing I'm not going to do is simply play the part of a victim. Got that? Did you get that? Feeling better, feeling much better. We need to move forward. I need to move forward. I will invest no more in anyone else more than I do my own process. And we are moving forward in this process. I must become greater so that you can become greater. Here's what we're going to do, let you know what's going on. This will be the final week on the Book of Face. The Book of Face. We won't be on Facebook anymore. This Facebook, my Facebook platform, will be returning back to a medium where I will be doing motivation and those type of things from a different standpoint, back to Zoe Life Coaching, Counseling, and Consulting. This was never a permanent medium. Uh, it was a median, but it was never a permanent medium because I need to get back to doing some things that excel my life versus being dependent upon others' growth and development. So we are going to move forward. Facebook will be ending this week. This will be the last broadcast. And to be quite honest with you, looking at my watch here, we're looking at about 35 to 40 minutes total of this broadcast, and this will be it. Um, for some portion, sick of Facebook stalkers and gawkers who we see 5 to 10 people who come on a regular basis, and then all of a sudden, boom! It elevates and it escalates to 100 to 200 views within a week, and that's fine. But it's time to be purposeful in this season. It's time to be who you with, who you around, and who you getting your word from, and who you getting your truth from, and not just from a biblical standpoint, but for who's feeding your life. And if you want to be force fed, then go talk to Gerber. If you want to be fed some lies, then go eat the steak that my guy was eating on Matrix when he said this. I know this steak is fake, but ignorance is bliss. Go ahead and get your information from there. If you want to be entertained, well, you have different options for that. But it's time for you to be here on purpose, in purpose, for purpose. You got to be aware. One thing I'm going to say over and over again in the next several weeks as we build the platform on Periscope, as we build the platform on YouTube, and as we, advance the platforms on YouTube and Periscope, and as we build the new platform on Patreon, that you'll hear more about in the next coming days. If you're not connected, my advice to you is, I'm not begging, I'm not borrowing, I'm not asking you over and over again. If you want to be a part, be a part. If you don't, go kick rocks with no socks on. Okay? Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to ask you to put your information in the comments, or to email me your desire, just your email, so that you can be a part of the information list at epsamuel@outlook.com. Now that's going to change. We're going to be going. This is very important, because I will not be receiving any information for any of the platforms after this next 7 days. That's EP Samuel at outlook.com. That's EPSAM. Can someone type that in the comments for me? EPSAMUELLE at outlook.com. That's EP Samuel at outlook.com. What we're doing is we're getting ready to unveil. It's going to take a little more work right now. I'm working very hard and diligent with individuals that I've hired and the team members that I've brought onto the process, and even looking for more help. If you want to be a part of that, definitely soliciting more volunteers and even interns for Zoe Life Coaching, Counseling, and Consulting as we are building a better platform. We will be moving to epapproved.com. That's right, that's EPAPPROVED at .com. That has always been a long-standing website that I've owned, but we're going to be moving that. We're going to move into that platform here in the very next few weeks here. That's going to be the home for everything that is EP approved. That's EP Explained. That is going to be the Sabbath at 7. That's going to be Zoe Life Coaching, Counseling, and Consulting. That's going to be GDIProductions.com as well. But please put that information in. We're going to move quickly, expeditiously. We're going to move on for the day. Not too much to say, except for this is, again, the last week that we will be on Facebook, as there is there's just too much going on Facebook for this type of information. Another reason that really motivated me to move forward was um, a comment that I will not disclose, but it made me really realize that you're going to have onlookers in your life for your entire life, but you have to make sure that you are expressly moving in life for your life for the others that want life from you. And I can't stress this. I can't stress this enough. Yeah, I really hope that you are not investing yourself in the outside world to be out and about, and I really hope that you're not so concerned about the extra or the movement in a day-to-day fashion of returning to normal. I'm telling you that this is not going to end between no less than 12 to 18 to 24 months. I'm saying 12 to 24 months total. Things are going to take a turn. And it's not just about COVID, it's going to be understanding how to move differently. And this is what's so important. You have to make sure that you are not just connected. Number one, you are connected to the right people who can really pronounce truth into your life and to steer you in the direction that you should go, not in the way that you seemingly want to go. That's number one. Number two, you need to make sure that you are on board with that person, purpose, and process to make sure that you are not going to be easily swayed. I'm telling you, I've watched it over the past several weeks that people are being swayed. If they can't be swayed away by the normal attributes or the normal processes, such as, oh, I don't like them, or they get on my nerves, or hatred or madness or any of those things, then they are being persuaded by simply being anesthetized or being preoccupied by things that have nothing to do with nothing. And so you have to be very careful that the strategy of Lucifer, and I'm going to call it by its name, it is to by any means necessary to find you or to get you distracted. Go ahead and be distracted by elections and things of that nature. Go ahead and be distracted by being frustrated with your process. That's your choice. That is totally your choice. But I'm telling you, during this next 12 to 24 months, you're going to want to be aligned with persons. I'm talking about leadership, prophetic leadership. I'm talking about people who have an entire process that can divulge you and push you and catapult you into a place of safety and not just scenery. That's going to be so important. And the problem is that I'm getting ready to offer a brand new process to where you can be a part of something that will not just keep you afloat, but will secure you during the time of rain, during the time of flames. Don't find yourself in a place where you have not burned your bridges, because that's one side of it, but don't to make sure that you have not found yourself outside of an ark of safety that's meant for you and you're knocking at the door wondering how to get in. Don't wait till calamity starts to hit. I have mentioned November 5th and the 6th, the 5th culminating through the 6th, that things will begin to happen. And I'm not going to go into that now, the reason, for very clear reasons, because I will not be utilized as some soothsayer or some fly by night prophet that comes and prophesies something. No, I've mentioned it, I've talked about it, and if you are connected, then if I were you, I would simply take time to connect with me personally to hear the very verbatim word that Yahweh has given concerning November 5th and the 6th. Why not pronounce it again? Because he that hath ear, let him hear what the Spirit is saying. And let me be very clear. I am sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of releasing information that the only reason why individuals want to hear is to make sure that they are in the know and they are not in the shadows. Well, you need to want to be in a position to where you're hearing and believing truth, not because calamity is coming, not because problems are coming, but because you are tied. Your existence is tied because you believe that Yahweh has sent you to a process and you are in it not because of any other reason, but because you choose to be there. What I release from my life, what Yeshua Hamashiach gives me to release from my life, is important and it has worth. And one thing that I've learned over the years, on nearly 20 years of doing just this, is that my pearls will not go amongst swine. So we are literally changing the draft. I'm not trying to be a prophet to say, see, I told you that came true. See. That's your 2020 hindsight vision, people who have to believe that a prophet's worth is in his exactness or his thoroughness or his correctness or accuracy of prophesying the color of your car or the things that happen. That is not the ideal activity of a prophet. We're going to explore some brand new things that I do believe, that I do know, that would have already raised controversial positions on Facebook and have caused some algorithm problems to occur. And so I'm going to vacate this so that I cannot be censored and so that nothing can be taken away. As a matter of fact, another reason why is that I believe that having your own, being your own, and doing your own, even when things go wrong. I made that rhyme, even though it didn't. Even when things go wrong, can't nobody take it from you. So I am finishing the process, eliminating the extras and the excrements, and making sure that I own the entirety of my process. And if they censor me, well, I have my own platform. This is the day of knowing who you're connected to. So we're going to be moving into a Periscope, full Periscope preview station, YouTube, and as well as Patreon. Those will be the three open um, processes. And I'm so excited about the fact that the platform that we're building on epapproved.com will be a user associated process, that it just won't be about the Sabbath at 7. This will be extra. The Sabbath at 7 will be extra, not extra, extra. That will still make sure that you're able to see the information shared on this platform week to week, Sabbath to Sabbath. But we're going to include this in a process that includes interviews by physicians, doctors, black issues, Hebrew issues. We're going to be dealing with not only interviews, but entertainment. We're going to have entertainment news. We're going to have all kinds of things that keep you engaged from and keep you in not only engaged in the interior, but to keep you engaged and informed on the exterior world. There's a lot of information that's going on that you need not be paying attention to. There's a lot of things that you need to be paying attention to. When the Bible speaks of laughter is does the heart good as medicine, then those are the things that you need to be focused on. We're going to have enough laughter and funny jokes and things going on, and all kinds of stuff, something for everyone, even for the kids. We will be to even a part of the package that we'll be offering. You will also be able to learn Hebrew from extended sources. You will be hearing from the latest and the greatest minds, physicians, teachers, rabbis, the entire nine. This will become the EP approved network will become an entire network that you'll be able to get things all week long. That's also going to include the EP Explains podcast, the video and the audio. I've been building a lot for many people, and I'm also going to make sure that this platform houses their information as well. So you just won't be able to see me, but those who have been a part or are still a part of they're building their own name and their own brand. Your brand will be also featured here. Their brands will be featured here. So we're working very hard to get those things done. Why am I doing this? Because, well, you have to make sure that above everything else, that you are not lacking or lagging during your own process. And I can't stress this enough. You better make sure, you better make sure that until that clock hits 2022, 5781 passes for the next 720 days. Those of you who are in the Hebrew know, you know. You better make sure you attach to something that just ain't church. You can be a fool if you want to. Go ahead and reattach to what feels good. Go ahead back in your churches and see what transpires. Go ahead and go back into Egypt. This is not the same old, same old. It's important that you are understanding who is speaking into your life and you're just not wandering looking for another word. I've heard so much lately of people just, and I have stressed even the several weeks that I was gone from the broadcast. And by the way, I want to give a kudos to my boo thing. I thank you so much for filling in and doing such a great job. The last several weeks, you have definitely upped your ante. You have definitely upped your ante, and that's why I've been trying to up my ante with you. You know what I mean? Hello, how you doing? What your name is? Miss Clark, Redbone. I'm sorry. I got Twitter pated for a minute, y'all. She's been doing such a great job the last several weeks filling in and doing such a great job of making sure that things stay afloat. We have been putting a lot of work into our home base when it comes to GDI Productions as it pertains to not just a Yeshua remnant, but all things production. We have been investing a lot of resources and materials to make sure that we're able to bring an entire process. And while I have been uh, recovering, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. And for my haters and for my laters, I'm back. Okay. Um, she did a great job of making sure that everything just kept going, and I was able to even to focus on making sure that I was able to do some upgrades in between, making sure that I was feeling better and getting better, and just taking time to renew my mind. I mean, if those of you don't know, I spend a lot of my resources and time on other individuals, and it's so easy. It's so easy not to lose focus, but to lose sight. Those of you who are pastoring and those of you who are in leadership, not just forming leadership, but those of you who have been in it, you understand what it is to where all of a sudden you've been and I want to speak directly to those individuals. You've been in the presence of Yah for some time, and all of a sudden you look back and you've been spending the last 16, 18, 20 weeks pouring into other people, and you've not taken time to pray. You've not taken time to really to reimburse what you've taken out, and before you know it, you're giving, 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 and the only thing that you have access to is the audit of those who you've given to, and then you find yourself, ooh, let me get back. Even though my time away was dealing with the health of my body, I did not fully understand. I understand it now. Over the past, I'd say more than 2 weeks, several weeks, it's been really a time to reinvigorate my mind and my heart and my passion, and find out what's important and absolutely find out what's not important. So it's been very pleasant to have a boo thing, who can sit here and to worship and to do her thing and allow me to dream again and to get things back together, in my own process, and also to be able to allow me to really to invest in. She's my number one investor. To be able to invest in just the aesthetics of my studios and equipment, and I mean we've been on runs, and when I couldn't go pick it up and I couldn't do, she was there, and I really appreciate that. But it's time to move forward. So it's very important that you understand that during this next 720 days, don't make excuses as to why you cannot connect. You better find yourself getting on board. You better find yourself getting on board. If it ain't me, well, go find somebody who you can be with, that you can invest in without saying I don't like this, I don't like that. Well, then if you don't like it, then be your own boss and be your own and do your own and get your own, and find out very, 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 very quickly, that it is so important that you find someone who can speak into your life and be there. And I just speak into your life on a shabaha cabbage, baked cabbage, banana peels, and onion rings, baked cabbage peels, and onion rings, baked cabbage, so you can start speaking in tongues. No, someone who can give you a well rounded process. And that's what we're doing with our new network. And that's what I'm doing to establish. We're going to bring it out in pieces and not all at one time. So I want you to be aware of that, as we get ready to move forward. And just real briefly, I do want to give just a slight word today. Again, and I can't stress enough, I don't care if it sounds like marketing or salesmanship, because it is. Because I'm not a fool. I recognize that what I give and what I do, is valuable, and I know that by the return. But we're going to make sure that those who want to be here are here on purpose, and make sure that they are here because they know that it is where they are supposed to be. And again, I thanks. Did you hear that? The T, the K, S on the end. I thank everyone who's been praying. Look in my face, look in my eyes, and see if I'm back. And if you don't know me, now you know. So today we're going to talk just briefly about something that I want to kind of get ready to go into on the new platforms. I'm going to give you a little snippet today, and I want you to turn, if you have your scriptures. We're going to turn here just for a moment. Good evening, good evening. Good to see you, good to see you, good to see you. Just for a moment, we're going to turn to the book of Hazan. That's Revelations. We're going to go to Revelations, the second chapter, I believe it is. Let's see if we can bring that on the screen. Here we go. Second, the second chapter, Revelations, the second chapter, Hazan, as the Hebrew word is. Um, the second chapter. I know your works and pressure and poverty, yet you are rich, and the blasphemy of those who say they are Yehudim, that's Jerusalem, and are a congregation of Satan. Yet you are rich, and the blasphemy of those who say they are Yehudim and are the congregation of Satan. Let's go to the next verse that we have. Just have two verses. We're going to expound upon that for a minute. You see, Hazan, Revelations 3:9 says, see, I am giving up those of the congregation of Satan, and who say they are Yehudim and are not, but lie. See, I am making them come and worship before your feet and to know that I have loved you. The reason why this is so important, the reason why I've chosen Yehudim to speak about Jerusalem and Hazdan 3:9 and 2:9 is for this very reason. Just a snippet. I hope if you missed it from the beginning, I only got about 10 minutes left. I'm going to go on because this is valuable and rich, and I want to make sure that those who are here want to be here and not those who want to view later on. You have to make it a point to get fresh food and not leftovers and not warmed over. Why would you consider to eat leftovers when you can get it fresh from the oven? Okay. The reason why I've chosen to talk about Yehudim is for this very reason: is that those who inhabit Jerusalem right now are not those who are the chosen. Oof, yeah, heavy material. Going right into it. It's going to be so very important that you keep your head and not be fooled or bamboozled to all the knowledge and all the fake knowledge. And then you want to talk about fake news that make sure that you are bamboozled of the truth. So important. I'm going to give you a word that I want you to make sure that you are keeping in your spirit and keeping in your life for the next coming days as we prepare for a new series, going back to I am Hebrew. I want you to put this word into your knowers, into your thinkers, and that word is Kazaria, Khazarian, the nation of Khazaria. And the reason why that's going to be so important is because I'm going to begin just briefly to expose the truth of a silenced place that that has been silenced for a long time. Let me tell you about Kazaria. I'm not going to put any maps or anything on the board. I'm just going to give you a tidbit so they can wet your whistle to know when it's time to go to the new platforms. Last week on Facebook, right now we're going to the platforms. If you missed it, go back to the beginning of the broadcast and you'll be able to see exactly when and where I'm talking about. Let's go back to Kazaria for a minute. Kazaria is a place situated near Russia, near the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea. If you don't know, now you know. I'm going to have maps and things that'll be available for those who subscribe to the process. You'll be able to get all this information at a teachable, educational, academic level. We're going to have experts on from everywhere from Tel Aviv all the way to the other parts of the Middle Eastern area that will be able to tell you the truth. That will be guests on the new network that will be able to give you the truth. But Khazaria is situated in the area between the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea near Russia, modern day Turkey area. Um, and this area is also the origin of the Khazarian or Khazarian Empire is situated in between what is known as the Caucasus Mountains. Now, that word Caucasus means has any significance or makes you say, you've heard the word before, Caucasian, the Caucasus Mountains. Just going to give some tidbits, not going to go into details, okay? We're getting ready for some new information. I will not be spending a lot of time today dealing with that. I only got about 7 to 10 minutes because I've given myself deadlines to make sure that those who want it will come get it, okay? Now, the thing about the Khazarian people was that here's the story. The story of truth stands in a time where the two major, this was about seven, I think the end of the 10th century, right about, well, this takes place from the 7th to the 10th century, okay? You'll find yourself looking at the time where the only two major religious factions in the world at the time was Christianity and Islam, and these will be factors that we will go into major depth with over the next several course of the week, and I will be weeks, and I will be spelling out exactly how we will be launching this material out in a schedule or curriculum process. This is one of the features that will be on, or this is one of the process that will be featured under our new subscription away from Facebook. Islam and Christianity. If once I show the maps, you'll be able to see that Islam was slowly but surely and actively taking over the not just the world but the globe. They were taking over the globe, the globe, the globe, the globe, the globe. And the reason why that's important to understand is that situated right there, in between where Christianity was forming and going, Christianity was forming and going and growing, going and growing. Islam was coming to a place that was near the Caucasus Mountains, and they were in at the time. I'm telling you, Islam was in a position of making great slides. Strides. I'm telling you this from a historical background and not from a Christian background, so that it has substance beyond just what Christianity teaches. So as they are moving forward, you have to understand that that the that the Islamic movement or the religion and the people were militaristically taking over. They were single handedly defeating. Not only were they defeating Christianity, but they were defeating the Byzantine Empire, and they were. I mean, it was moving with such force until they came into a blockade known as the Caucasus Mountains. Now, the mountains were not the problem. The problem was also because during that time period or in that area, there was very little time that you could pass through the area because of the harsh winters and the harsh weather and the terrains. But a bigger issue were those who occupied the area themselves were a military threat. So much so that Islam could not defeat. They tried to defeat who? The Khazar Empire. They tried. And no matter what they did, they could not defeat the Khazar Empire. And so, as the Khazar people understood the wealth and the greatness that they were because of their position, they understood they were a formidable force. Just giving you a brief overview. And they understood how great they were. They became a great trade. They were a nomadic people, but they had no real. It wasn't a formal kingdom. They dwelled in tents. They dwelled in the land. They were not an established people like you would think of as a kingdom with gates and castles and moats. No, they were not those people. The the Khazarian or the Khazar people were nomadic people, but they found out how great they really were. Even to the point where I'll begin to. Well, I won't go into that right now. So this is what I want you to understand. Just a small story. So the story goes that once the Khazarian people understood how great they were militaristically, economically, demographically, their location, their positioning, they realized that because of their religious views that they could not offer their people or anyone else in the world religious uh, religious perpetuity, religious greatness, because their religious practices were polytheistic. It was many sided. They did not have a religion that would draw people in a certain way. So they knew that they had to make some type of change. So they considered, because of their position, they considered Christianity. So they asked they formed these caucuses, or these think tanks, and they would ask the Islamic people who were tired of fighting them, who wanted to find a way to get along with them because they could not beat them. They said to the Islamic, the Khazarians, the Khazar Empire said to the Islamic individuals, which one is a worse threat or a worse situation to be in? Christianity or Judaism? Of course, the Islamic faction said, definitely, it's definitely going to be Christianity. So then they turned and they asked the Christians, which is the worst state to be in, Judaism or Islam? And of course, the Christians said, Islam. So the Khazarian and the empire knew they had no choice to make. Neither one of the two factions said anything about Judaism. So the monotheistic positioning of Judaism, one God, they adopted Judaism. And they simply decided to be Jews. Now, none of this information can be quite controversial at best, very vaguely controversial at best, except for what happens next. What happens next is that these individuals who converted to Judaism decided, we're Jew. We're Jew. And that was that. See, they aligned themselves with the least controversial so that they could keep Islam and Christianity off their back. And why is that important? Because once you start seeing in the next coming weeks, you start seeing the situation of where the Caucasus Mountains, the Caspian Sea is located, the Black Sea is located in proximity to Yehudim, Jerusalem, you'll find out as I begin to speak to you about how they migrated. Now, the big controversy that people want to talk about is the DNA. We're going to get into that. The controversy that people want to talk about is that the people did not migrate. We're going to get into that. What cannot be refuted is that the leadership converted for their own reasons. Now I'm announcing to you and denoting to you that those that inhabit Jerusalem are not Hebrew. We're going to delve into this because you need to understand exactly who we are, who you are, and who you are not. Why? Not for the sake of inhabiting Yehudim, but this is for the sake of the fulfillment of the prophecies in the book. See, if you're watching the wrong people, then you'll never understand the fulfillment of the process. And you'll be looking left and Yahweh is coming right. If you are not aligned with someone who is even attempting to deal with these issues, then you are aligned with the wrong persons. If you are aligned with any situations that's telling you simply to worship your way out of it without understanding your way into it, then you are aligned with the wrong people. If anything, you know what, I'm not even going there. Because I don't want anyone to say that I am throwing off at anyone. I don't have time for any of that. Align yourself with what is right. If you are not being challenged in this information to think for yourself, and you are not out there by yourself, then you're with the wrong individuals. I'm inviting you to a process. I'm inviting you to a network, a subscription process that you can be prescribed and subscribed to that will keep you in line with what's going on, not just biblically, but in the earth. What I am attempting to do is what I am doing is growing a network that deals with everything from education to entertainment, that brings you to a place to where you can get everything that you need from different individuals in this process. Because think about it. I want you to really understand this. At a drop of a dime, they can close down Facebook. Then where are you getting your anything but your CNN and your NBC, your MSNBC, and your TNTs from. Then you're going right back to the dark. At any given time, they can shut down your YouTube. And then I want you to understand this. And then how would you, especially during this time, how were you going to get your word? Well, cable television. At any given time, they can do what has always been done. Denote to you what they want you to see and hear on your cable outlets, on your direct TVs, and on your dish networks. They can decide who's important, and then you put the power back into people who say they're for Yah and they're for God, but yet they are for themselves. The people who are inhabiting these positions and the location of Yehudam is not who you should be following. Period, point blank. At any given time, your Twitter feed can say whatever they wanted to say. I would urge you, you better be understanding that I'm not telling you to do it. I'm urging you to align yourself with people that are simply just not selling you another process. Oh, come to my seminar, come to this and come to that. Oh, the church is wide open. Give your tithes. Now, for those who, anyone who will watch this or has is watching this, I'm not your quintessential everyday. I'm not your pastor that sits in the pulpit. I'm going to say and do some things that may shock and all you, but will be for the benefit of your soul. I'm not here to fit a mold of what you believe that churchianity has taught you to look like. I've got to do it this way because there is something coming. I'm not going to prophesy and to see my bow tie or untie my bow tie, or I'm not going to come in a Honda or a Civic or Oldsmobile or Cadillac. Not here, not today. But I will have some fun on this new network, and I will everything that is spoken prophetically ultimately will be within the chambers of my new network. Why? Because my pearls will no longer go among swine. There's just too much goodness out there. There's just too much information that that I'm not going to be worried about speaking or saying because of censorship on Facebook or algorithms or things like that. No, I'm building my own. Yes, some information will still be out there like that, but we are going to really open the envelope up. We're not going to push the envelope. We're going to open the envelope up and allow you to have a full process interviews with individuals from other places that are not just church and yes, interviewing pastors and having interactions with people from pastors to pulpits. Yes, we're going to do all that. We're going to do a whole lot more than that. We're going to have education, we're going to have history, we're going to have all kinds of things from entertainment to laughter to, I mean, we're going to be doing it all because you need the entire process and not just huckabucking and shucking and feeling like that's everything that it is. Why did I bring up the Kazarian people? Because I want to let you know that we're going to be delving into some issues that have never been dealt with before by many outlets. And those who are doing it, let me be very clear. There are many that are doing it that we will be partnering with, that I'm already engaged with, that I will be bringing them on. It's not about trying to be the only source, it's about uniting sources, being resources. So I want you to get excited about it. If you're not, I am. I'm excited for myself. I'm excited for me. I'm excited for everybody that's excited. I'm excited. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to feel good. I'm excited to look good. I'm excited to be good. I'm excited to do good. Good things. Hey, I want to give a shout out to my Kenyan community. This was given to me by my dear sister. She brought it from me from Kenya many years ago, and I want to let you know I still got it. Asante sana Yesu. Asante sana Yesu. Moyani. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is beautiful. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite pieces. One of my favorite pieces. But we are upgrading things. I've been doing a lot of upgrading, a lot of downgrading of some things that need to go, and putting some things in that need to be here, and equipment upgrades, and searching and researching upgrades, and giving upgrades and giving upgrades. You get it? Giving upgrades, upgrading things, and making sure. Never mind. In the meantime, I'm gonna go because I can smell dinner cooking in my house. Um, yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. So just let you know, this will be this is the last week that we will be on Facebook. If you come back to Facebook next week, you're going to see a brand new montage of information that's going to deal with motivation. We're going to, excuse me, we're going to bringing back we're going to be bringing back some of the clips that go back a couple years ago. Man, it's some good stuff. I think I'm going to start with the session that started with "I will not shit on myself today." Did you hear what I said? I didn't cuss. I did not just cuss. You didn't hear me cuss. I said I will not should on myself today. That was a great series that goes back, gosh, I think it was 2 years ago. We're going to bring those situations back. So you're going to see those on Facebook. That's what you're going to see on Facebook more. ZLCCC, which is my counseling practice. We're going to invest more into that. I've taken time to audit my process, taking time off that was necessary, that I needed to let some things to balance out, and I feel good, y'all. I feel good, y'all. We got a lot of things coming. We got physicians lined up. We have delegates lined up, politicians lined up. When I say politicians, I don't mean the ones that are out now. I mean the ones that are actually going to do something later on. But align yourself with something and someone that's actually giving you more than process, and is giving you purpose. It's going to be very important over the next 720 days that you have a clear, distinct voice from heaven, and you're not sitting outside the ark, banging on the door, trying to find entrance, because you may find yourself looking for a rubber ducky, trying to float your way back in. Take it as you want to. See if I'm right. See if I'm a liar. See if I be a prophet. No matter how you see me, know that I will see you later. And know that today is a good day to go be great on purpose. Until next time, YouTube, Periscope, if you are looking to get that information, make sure that you send me your information, as you will be responded to on epsamuel at outlook.com. But after next week, we will be opening back up the only medium for connection via email, which will be epapproved.com and GDI Production without an S.com. If you go to those sites now, you won't see anything because I have them locked down for the great unveiling. Until next time, know that Yahweh loves you, and so do I, and needs you to go be great on purpose. This is DP Samuel saying, Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.